Calaroga Shark Media.
Hidely ho, I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. Nate Bargatze is working on a book. It is called Big Dumb Eyes. I think the book publicist thought I was insane when I reached out to them already. Big Dumb Eyes was announced by Nate on social media, who wrote, "I'm so excited to tell you that I'm writing my first book. Big Dumb Eyes will be an easy read of a collection of personal stories, opinions, and confessions that the whole family can enjoy." It doesn't come out until May 6th of next year, which is why the publicist, I think, thought I was insane. Got to get those requests in, though. I've previously told you Nate is working on a Christmas special with CBS. Lauren Michaels behind that one. Nate says of the new special, "I'm extremely excited to be creating this special as I've long been a fan of variety and we don't see enough of it. I want to make a great show for families to gather around and watch together, and I couldn't be in better hands than with this team." The ratings for Nate's SNL episode are in. 4.7 million people watched it, which is pretty good for 11:30 at night when you compare that to, say, playoff baseball. Yeah. Week over week, it was down 626,000 viewers from the premiere. You'd think Coldplay would bring in more people, right? It was also down 89,000 viewers from Nate's appearance last October on the 28th. That musical guest was Foo Fighters. If you want to compare week to week, last year on October 21st, Bad Bunny hosted. Nate outdrew the Bad Bunny episode by 721,000 viewers. HBO released the trailer for Seth Meyers' new comedy special. It is called Dad Man Walking. I've got the trailer for you here. I've made a couple minor edits to it because there's some visual jokes. But let's listen, and I want to point out, notice the music bed. It's like stock music library version of The Who's Won't Get Fooled Again. Weird choice. It keeps distracting me because I'm like, oh, it's fake Who. Anyway, let's listen.
I could never hate my kids, you guys. I could never hate my kids. With that said, I hate when they wake up in the middle of the night. Bad news! And it's gotten to the point that when I hear the doorknob rattle, I actually think to myself, maybe it's just an intruder who will politely steal my valuables, and then I won't have to scratch his back for the next hour.
Myers jokes that critics say it's the special my kids will be talking about in therapy 20 years from now. October 26th for Seth Meyers' Dad Man Walking. Tommy Chong was on Bill Burr's podcast. He suggested that President George W. Bush ordered a hit on Mr. Chong. Tommy Chong is now 86. He claimed that his criminal conviction in 2003 for selling drug paraphernalia online, specifically 7,500 bongs and water pipes, was orchestrated by George W. Bush. Chong served 8 months at a federal prison in California after entering into a plea deal. The case was initiated by the U.S. Attorney for Western Pennsylvania. Chong says it was orchestrated by Bush. He told Bill Burr, "They had a hit on me, the Bush family." Bill Burr, no surprise, was curious about the claim. Chong said Bush was invading Iraq, so they needed some sort of hippie BS. Burr then asked him if it was a wag the dog type play. That's a reference to a political strategy used to create a diversion. Hey, don't worry about the war, worry about Tommy Chong, yeah? All right, Chong said, yeah, so they attacked me and they sentenced me on 9/11. The judge, Schwartz was his name, he had a reputation of doing whatever the Bush people wanted done, and so that's why he was giving my thing. They needed a face for their campaign because they were going after paraphernalia on the internet. Burr asked Chong if he harbored any bitterness towards Bush or his family. Chong said, no. Yeah? He said no, but admitted the experience was a life changer for me. Yeah, I would imagine. Newsweek says they contacted the Bush media team for comment. No comment at the time of this recording. Interesting tag here. Chong said, prison was devastating to my family, especially my wife. It wasn't tough on me, actually. It was quite a nice experience. Jenna Fischer, you know her as Pam from The Office. She shared on Instagram her breast cancer diagnosis, announcing she's now cancer-free. She released a series of slides in commemoration of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. She said in October of 2023, doctors found something on her left breast after an inconclusive mammogram. That December, she learned she had stage 1 triple-positive breast cancer, a particularly aggressive form of the disease, but one that is highly responsive to treatment. They caught the cancer early. It had not spread to the rest of her body. In 2024, doctors removed the lump, but triple-positive breast cancer still requires chemo and radiation therapy. Jenna says during the treatment, her hair fell out and she began wearing wigs and hats with hair, which her family affectionately called wigats. After 12 rounds of weekly chemotherapy, 3 weeks of radiation, and some other treatments, Jenna says she's happy to say, I'm feeling great. I'm making this announcement for a few reasons. 1, I'm ready to ditch the wigs. 2, to implore you to get your annual mammograms. You can also ask your doctor to calculate your breast cancer risk assessment score and get additional screenings required. I'm serious. Call your doctor right now. My tumor was so small, it could not be felt on a physical exam. If I'd waited 6 months longer, things could be much worse. I'm happy to say I was recently rescreened and the treatments worked. I'm cancer-free. I will continue to be treated and monitored to help stay that way. Take it from Pam and her Pam-Pams. Michael Scott was right. Get 'em checked, ladies. Some high-profile animal lovers, including Ricky Gervais, attended a World Animal Day event in aid of the animal welfare charity Mayhew. More than 15,000 pounds were raised on the night through a raffle and auction of virtual gifts to support the dogs, cats, and communities that Mayhew helps. HBO, not the best timing to announce their new late-night comedy series, It's Florida, Man. Hope everyone in Florida is safe today. The series It's Florida, Man debuts next Friday, October 18th at 11 p.m. on HBO. It'll stream on Max. By the way, I was playing around on Max watching The Penguin. Have you seen The Penguin? The Penguin is very good. And I noticed in the top 10 was Have I Got News For You, the CNN thing that airs on Saturday night. So maybe the Saturday night thing is a terrible idea, but the Max part of it seems to be doing well. You go, Roy Wood Jr. Anyway, It's Florida, Man will stream on Max. It'll air on HBO proper at 11 p.m. Eastern and Pacific starting on the 18th. The irreverent late-night comedy series brings to life unbelievable, ripped-from-the-headlines tales of the Sunshine State. Yeah, dudes, wrong week to announce this thing. Sorry, I know you planned this months ago, but sometimes you got to punt. Hey, Florida, hilarious, right? Yeah, that's not going to play. And I hope I'm not even out of tone because I recorded this on Wednesday. So I hope you're not listening on Thursday going, oh my God, John, are you serious? Are you doing this? Like, this is the risk you run. Ripped from the headlines, tales of the Sunshine State, straight from the people who live there, featuring interviews from everyday Floridians and playful recreations starring a rotating cast of actors and comedians, including Anna Faris, Jake Johnson, Randall Park, Juliette Lewis, Sam Richardson, Ego Nwodim, and more. This hilarious and outrageous series sheds lights on the viral, wacky, and weird, covering diverse topics from mermaids to witches, extreme fantasies, and feral bunnies with equal parts in humor. It's Florida, Man is a love letter to the beaches, backwaters, and especially the people of a misunderstood yet magical state. Go carefully, HBO press team. My former co-worker, Jamie Foxx, recorded his new comedy special. It will eventually air on Netflix. Gayle King happened to be backstage to ask Jamie some questions. Wow, that's amazing. Gayle King asked Jamie Foxx, I want to know how you feel after 3 nights. Jamie said it was an excruciating time opening those wounds every single day. The subject matter was the story of the mysterious ailment that left Jamie hospitalized back in 2023. The show is titled What Had Happened Was. Jamie says the show's unusual because he didn't workshop the material. Fox says it was excruciating because the worry's what gets you. You got a great show in the room, but we don't know what they may laugh at or what they might not laugh at. Usually when you do a stand-up special, you go out for a year and you work every nook and cranny and then you tape it. You don't just show up in Atlanta and turn the camera on. It's a personal journey, and I hope I never have to go through this again. My next jokes will start out knock knock. I'll do an hour and a half of knock knock jokes. Glad he's doing well. Again, having worked with Jamie and his camp for a few years, that they weren't able to prop him up to take a photo of him sitting poolside and looking cool and being like, yeah, everything's great. That screams to me that this was really serious, because I'm telling you, if they could have gotten one good picture, it would have hit the internet. Glad he's doing all right. Steph Tolev is taping her special at the Paradise Rock Club in Boston tonight. Vulture recognized Steph as one of Toronto's funniest exports in their annual Comedians You Should and Will Know, not this year, but a previous year. You can also see Steph Tolev in Bill Burr's movie Old Dads. And that movie wasn't good, sorry. And that's your comedy news for today. John, you ended on a jerky note. You're a moron. I hate you. I know. I'm sorry. I stumbled into that, but it wasn't good. See you tomorrow.